Hello, lovely people of the internet. I am Damien Geppetto, and we are back once again. That's right. We've got another great video for you here today, and we are bringing you the Bloomburrow Top 10. The top 10 cards ranked by me, Damien Geppetto. I've got my own ranking system. I don't listen to the herd. I just say what I want. We're going to go with the top 10 cards here. Maybe there's an honorable mention. If you want to see my top 21, which there's a couple cards not in that list, on this one, well, go watch that video up there, and we're going to hit the intro and be right back. Kitsa Otterball Elite. This card is number 10 on our list, and this is a badass card. Right next to it is an honorable mention, Rottenmouth Viper, which is a 6 mana black, 6/6 elemental snake with 4 life, tax when it enters or when it attacks. And it can also sacrifice creatures to get itself out. So Rottenmouth Viper is going to get some play. You're going to see this in push-pull decks. You're going to see this in sacrifice decks. But it's just the honorable mention. Kitsa Otterball Elite here is a 2-mana otter that is a 1/3 with vigilance and prowess. Tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. 2 mana, tap it, copy target instant or sorcery spell if her power is 3 or more, which means you have to do 2 spells. But this is a prowess creature that can copy spells, that also draws cards and discards, that cycles your deck. This is a good card. There is no other way to put it. Kitsa is prowess and vigilance in 1 card, so this is Rona, but you can attack with it because it's got, so you don't have to sit back. You can attack with it. Pump that thing up. Second spell you cast, you can copy it if you got an extra 2 mana. Card cycler. Get to the cards you need. So put stuff in the graveyard with flashback. You know, anything that copies spells is good. And a creature that can just sit out there and copy spells is great. It's a 1/3. It's not perfect, but a 1/3 vigilance otter wizard. This is going to be staple. This is going to be staple in your go aggro spellslinger type blue decks. There is a planeswalker that is in blue-red. Is it color? There is a planeswalker that goes great with Kitsa, making otters with prowess. Kitsa, number 10 on the list. Number 9. That's right, we got Overprotect here. Overprotect sitting over here. This green 2 mana instant. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. A simple uncommon is our number 9. Overprotect is going to make mono green stompy that much more. Mono green's back. This does 2 spells for 2 mana. This is perfect on defense, obviously hexproof and indestructible, but on the block, that means +3/+3 can go up higher. Probably kills off whatever it's blocking. And, oh, by the way, yes, removal spell, whoop, protect it, indestructible and hexproof. Oh, and attacking, trample please. We've all seen this. Monstrous Rage is +3/+1 with trample. This is going to be a basic spell. It's just the best pump spell in green, period. It's 2 cards in 1. It's offensive and defensive. So if you got a green creatures deck, Overprotect is going to become your best friend in the 2 slot. All right, number 8 on the list is the Infamous Cruelclaw. Center on the screen for you here. Honorable mention next to it, Crackling. We mentioned the Planeswalker that goes with it. This is it. -10, draw 3 cards, get an emblem with instants and sorceries of Storm, so more copying of instants and sorceries. This is going to go with our number 10 card, Kitsa. And number 8 here, the Infamous Cruelclaw is a 3 mana 3/3 with the Menace, and it has, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast it by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. So free cast from a discard. This is going to be a staple. This is going to to make Rakdos a lot stronger. 3/3 with Menace for 3 mana is great. Already great. Going to fit in Rakdos. It's a free cast with a discard. Anything you hit 5, 6, 7 mana, just discard a card, swap it out for whatever's in your hand, whether it's a land or a spell, swap up spells. It's got Menace, so it's going to hit on turn 4. A lot of times get you that 1 free cast. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a Glissa style card. This is going to be in meta for 3 years. This card, Infamous Cruelclaw, is going to be a menace. Those free casts, some people are going to be rage quitting on these free casts. I'm telling you, dropping a 7 mana Tali or the amount of shenanigans for Infamous Cruelclaw is going to be off the charts. This is definitely number 8 For number 7, we have Spellgyre. This is another uncommon, and this is going to be a staple in blue. All of those blue control decks that had Memory Deluge in the 4 slot. Your answer for Memory Deluge is right here. That's right. We have the replacement for Memory Deluge in this set right away. 4 of. This thing is Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. It's not as good as Deluge, but it also gives you the optionality of counter target spell at instant speed. You got a 4 mana counter / draw 2 cards after surveilling 2. This is going to slot into all of those control decks. Spellgyre is number 7 on the list because cards like this that just become staples in a specific play style are going to be in the meta. They're going to be worth it. This is an uncommon. This will be a good spell for a long time. Surveil 2, draw 2 cards is not look at top 4, but it's very similar. Draw 2 cards after surveilling 2 is strong, and that's why this is number 7 on the list. You can draw at the last minute. Oh, well, they throw out a good spell. Well, you counter it instead. You don't draw your cards, but countering the best thing your opponent's going to do is why control is so good, and that is why Spellgyre is number 7, and it's gonna make waves. We have number 6 on the list is something not mentioned in my last video, which is Zoraline Cosmos Caller. That's right, 3 mana for a 3/3 bat with flying and vigilance. Already for 3 mana, 3/3 flying vigilance. That is great. Whenever a bat you control attacks, you gain 1 life. Whenever Zoraline enters or attacks, not just when she comes into the battlefield, next turn if she's still alive, when she attacks, you may pay 1 black, 1 white, and 2 life. When you do, return target non-land permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finale counter on it. Just like Phyrexian Missionary, like 5 mana, she comes out 3/3 and another 3 mana spell from your graveyard onto the board. Throw her out on turn 3, does not get removed. Next turn, flies, gain 1 life because she's a bat, gain 1 life, do 3 damage flying, and when you attack, you can pay 2 mana and bring back something that's 3 mana or less from the graveyard that they've removed already in the game. Zoraline Cosmos Caller is going to be a staple card in Orzhov decks for a long time coming. This type of card just makes an entire tribal synergy go. This card is going to be very strong. 3 mana, 3/3 flying vigilance. Life gain in bats, folks. Life gain in bats. Zoraline, the Cosmos Caller. Yeah, what's better than a 3/3 flyer with vigilance? This will be a strong card, and I'm going to definitely be building an Orzhov cleric / bat deck. Number 6 on the list, Zoraline Cosmos Caller. She is the Flying Bat Queen. Number 5 on the list. We are to the top 5, and number 5 is Keen-Eyed Curator. Don't sleep on this card. 2 mana for a 3/3 is already strong. It has 1 mana exile card from graveyard, so Keen-Eyed Curator's 2 mana for a 3/3 staple already because it's not a legendary. Exile target card from a graveyard for 1 mana. This is a Lion Sash on a creature that's already 1 over the basic. 2 mana for a 3/3. Oh, by the way, as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards exiled with Keen-Eyed Curator, it gets a +4/4, +4/4, and has trample. This Keen-Eyed Curator is a possible 7/7 with trample for 2 mana. Now, granted, you will have to spend 4 more mana to get into that. Minimum. 6 to 7 mana, it's a 7/7 with trample. And you're getting rid of stuff from graveyards as well. You don't have to get rid of stuff right away. Blocker, early attacker, Keen-Eyed Curator. Green is getting love in the set. Keen-Eyed Curator is going to slot into every green creature deck because 2 mana 3/3 with upside. That's all you need to know. Starts small, stays out there, it can be big. Number 5 on the list, Lion Sash / Agatha Soul Cauldron type exiling every turn. Keen-Eyed Curator. You're going to get used to this card because this is going to be a staple. Number 4 on the list. That's right, top 4. Here we go. We got Beza the Bounding Spring. Is in the 4 slot for a white, and white definitely needs something in the 4 slot now that it's losing Wandering Emperor. Step into the spot. Beza the Bounding Spring. Not the same thing. Everybody's going to be yelling and screaming. Do not think that way. 4 mana for a 4/5 creature. Okay. Control doesn't want creatures. 4 mana for a 4/5. Beza's going to be out there to stop the aggression. But Beza has 4 possible ticks when she enters the battlefield. Create a treasure token if an opponent controls more land than you. So, ramp. Opponent's got more land, ramp. Gain 4 life If an opponent has more life than you, it only has to be 1. So if they have more life than you, 4 life. Create 2/1/1 blue fish creature tokens if an opponent controls more creatures than you. Turn 4, they're probably going to have more creatures than you. Throw her out. If there's 2 creatures on the board, automatically creating 2/1/1s. So it's a 4/5 and 2/1/1s for 4 mana. If you just hit the creatures, if you just hit one of the modes, not even if you got a treasure token out of it, not even if you got life out of it. Oh, and by the way, it's got a 4th mode too. Draw a card if an opponent has more cards in the hand than you. You could draw a card, put out 2/1/1 blue fish creature tokens for 4 mana. Forget anything else. That's valuable. Draw a card, put a couple 1/1s and a 4/5 out there. If you hit 2 of these modes, which is what you tried to do with the Sunset Revelry, let's be honest, Sunset Revelry, you always tried to hit 2. Get a couple creatures out, get the life. Get a couple creatures out and a card draw. Get a card draw and the life. This is Sunset Revelry crammed into the ETB of a creature. At 4 mana, gain yourself some life, make some token creature blockers, draw a card, and create a treasure token. If you hit all 4 on this, home run. Beza the Bounding Spring is not seeing enough love, but I think this is 2 of main board already. 4/5 for 4 mana and upside. That's all you need to know. 4 mana for a 4/5 with upside. And you get to see the upside when you cast it. She is not a planeswalker that's going to sit out there and completely change the tide of battle like the Wandering Emperor did. No, I'm not saying that. But this will help you kick it up a notch. It's a Swiss Army knife in the 4 slot for white. Swiss Army knife. It goes in with creature decks. It goes in with token decks. This goes with pure control decks. Beza, the Bounding Spring. It's going to hit. I'm telling you right now. You're going to use it. You're going to do 2 or 3 of in your decks, and you're going to hit 2 of the 3 modes. More often than not, this is a staple type card. We do not have far to go. For number 3, it is Maha right here in the center of the board. That's right. Maha is my number 3 overall card. It is a 5 mana 6/5 flying trample creature. It is legendary. Ward is discard a card, so it has protection on itself. Discard is not easy, so this goes in a discard deck. This goes into sacrifice decks because creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Interesting control, mid-range flexibility. This card's going to be in a lot of decks. This card is no doubt one of the top cards. Maha is steps above Beza. This is where I would say we have a top 3 power level, folks. We have a top 3 power level. Everything else, it drops off a little bit. Maha is just on another level, 5 mana. For a 6/5, it's flying and trample. Ward is discard a card, so it has very good protection. And creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1. This card, it's got everything you want. It goes into creature decks. It goes into control decks. It does it all. This is going to be a staple for 3 years. Its ward is discard a card, which there's a whole bunch of discarding in this new set that is going to make this just smash them. Comes in after Aklazot's bat. The bat stays around. Bat attacks. Makes them discard their last card. Throw this out. They have no cards in their hand. Now they have to play the game of trying to draw cards. Discard friendly, sacrifice friendly, control friendly, all modes of black want this card. This card is going to be annoying. You're going to see this card come out and you're going to hope it's going to die if it goes out by itself to sacrifice spells, Sheoldred's Edict type stuff, blot out, those kind of the strongest creature type thing dies. So Maha, its Feathers Knight, is going to control the air. Oh, it's going to control the air. Oh, that bad deck that I want to make, 1/1s against that. You're going to need to remove this thing right away. Right away. No doubt. No doubt whatsoever. And number 2, that's right, top 2, I have Ygra, Eater of All. What else is it going to be? I mean, come on now. 5 mana for a 6/6 with upside. It's got ward, sacrifice of food. It turns every other creature into a food artifact. It can eat all food. Oh, by the way, anytime a food dies, which anytime a creature dies, she gets 2+1/1 counters. This is the kind of card that you could build anything around. You can build any type of deck around this, whether you want to do sacrifice, whether you want to do fight, whether you want to go big, go wide. Ygra, Eater of All in Golgari colors. There's going to be a lot of 3-color decks that use Ygra. She works great with squirrels. Ygra, Eater of All, 5 mana 6/6 legendary elemental cat who everything else is food to her. Other creatures are food artifacts in addition to the other types. 2 mana, tap it, sacrifice it, you gain 3 life. So the ward is sacrifice a creature or food. It's a good ward. The top 3 here are the top 3 for a reason. Ygra, Eater of All, 5 mana finisher. I can see Ygra come out. Let's say you have a bunch of food already on the board. Let's say you got 6 mana, so you throw Ygra out for 5 mana. Other creatures are food artifacts. Now you can go to our honorable mention mention, we got 1 mana left. As long as you sacrifice 5 things, 5 food / hopeless nightmare / whatever other permanent, sacrifice 5 permanent, get out this Viper for 1 mana after Ygra, and let's say 3 of those were food, so Ygra goes 2+1s 3 times. She comes out 6/6, then she's upped to a 12/12 on the first turn for 1 mana. Oh, and there's a 6/6 creature that just did 4 damage to you. I could see Ygra Eater of All is going to just be a bomby thing. If you can get this combined with the other synergy in this set. That's why I say there's going to be a lot of 3-color that I can't predict, because there's a lot of really strong 2-colored cards that if you can mix them into colors, they're going to be really strong together. And Ygra Eater of All, this cat, creature decks are going to hate this thing because it's just going to eat everything. All you got to do is put trample on it. Once you put trample on there, goodbye. Trample for 1 mana, easy. And oh, by the way, number 9 spell on this list, Overprotect, 2 mana, +3/+3, and trample. So you got a 12/12 sitting out there on the board. It doesn't get removed. Next turn, 2 mana, 15/15. With trample, indestructible, hexproof. I mean, this card is going to be sick. Ygra Eater of All is going to do wonders. Number 2 on the list. It is worth everything. I mean, 6/6 for 5 mana is already valuable. It's got upside. Every food sacrifices is +2/+2, and it's not just your food. So you can get the plus-ups, they sacrifice, and then you protect her. You still get the plus-ups from their sacrificing their creature to try and kill her. Yes! Interesting, warded sacrifice of food. Control decks are going to be in trouble. You're going to just have to wipe this thing. Ygra's really, really strong. Get trample on her and it's GG. Number 1, without a doubt, hands down, this spell is going to change Magic the Gathering. Not standard. This is going to change Magic the Gathering. This kind of spell changes Magic the Gathering. This is the kind of power creep that's done right, and it's cracked. This is cracked, but it's not overpowered. This is going to be in every black deck. Cruelclaw's Heist. 2 mana for a sorcery. Gift a card where you let your opponent draw a card before this goes off. So your opponent draws a card on your turn, 2 mana, opponent draws a card, then this goes off. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, exile that card if the gift was promised. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana type of any can be spent to cast it. You are always going to let your opponent draw a card and pick the best card in their hand. It is yours now to cast whenever you want. You can take an early opening away from them. You can take the late finisher away from them. Combine this with this card. There is a 1 mana opponent exiles card out of their hand. So you do this, you steal the best card, and then you make them get rid of a card after that. 3 mana, boom. This is going to be in every single format. This is Siphon Insight and Pilfer in 1 card. You're not siphoning their library. You're stealing from them. They draw 1 card, and then you pick one of the best of their cards, and it's yours. Cast it whenever you want. Yes, please. Not only do I get to look at your hand and make you discard a card, I make you discard that card to me. I can now cast it from exile. Woo, 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 woo. I mean, it's going in exile, which means Quintorius. It triggers Quintorius. Steal from your opponent triggers Quintorius. I mean, there's 4 of. Why wouldn't you? Not only is opponent discarding a card, you are choosing what card you want from their hand. The best card printed in the set. The set may not be the strongest set in the world, but this card is busted good. I don't think it's going to get banned. I'm not saying that. This is just powerful card in 2 slots. 2 swamps. I look at your hand and I steal whatever I want from your hand. Simple as can be. It's not complicated, folks. Always gift the card so that you can steal the card. It's that simple. The only reason you wouldn't gift a card is late game. You know, all it is a land card, or they got 2 cards and you got 2 discards. Just do it to discard. Cracked. 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 This card is going to destroy. First deck I'm building is going to have this card in it. Second deck I'm building is going to have this card in it. Third deck I'm building is going to have this card in it. Fourth deck I'm building is going to have this card in it. I mean, I don't know how far we're going, but we might make black in every single deck because Cruelclaw's Heist is going to be a 4 of in all of my decks going forward. This is the best spell out of this set, and you're going to hate this thing. You're going to hate that your opponent steals your best thing on turn 2 every single game. Yes, that's right. It's going to be in standard for 3 years. This is going to be in modern. This is going to be in all versions because you can take away the combos from your opponents. That's the key with this. Take away combos from opponents, take away the strongest thing, take away graveyard manifestation, take away whatever you want. Whatever you choose. Take away their early moves, take away their late moves. You can cast their best cards. And that's what made Siphon Insight so good. But imagine if you do that from their hand. We're going to rule the nest with Cruelclaw's Heist. I hope you enjoyed the top 10. That was the number 1 and by far. There was no question Cruelclaw's Heist was always going to be number one. It was just sorting everything in after that. But thank you again for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the content, you can put a comment down there. I stream live on twitch.tv/DamienGeppetto on a weekly basis, so go check that out. Peace out.